Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of And That's the Game, powered by StreamYard right here on the Sports Fan Base Network. We come on the air today with breaking news. This is just released by the NFL. Damontre Moore, defensive back for the Seattle Seahawks, has been suspended 6 games without pay for violating the NFL policy on performance-enhancing substances. Moore will be suspended. He will now be eligible to return to the active roster on Monday, December 14th, which will be following the Seahawks Week 14 game against the New York Jets that just happened within the last couple of minutes. Defensive back for the Seattle Seahawks, Damontre Moore, suspended 6 games for violating the NFL's PED policy. And with that being said, to break down that and more of the insanity that has been week 8 in the NFL, we welcome into the show Titletown Throwdown host Nick LeBlanc. Nick, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the show. And I'm sure you probably just heard that Seahawks defensive back Damontre Moore suspended 6 games for violating the PED policy.
The NFL's really done great job cracking down on these guys for the PED policies. It just amazes me in how these guys either get injected with it or they know what they're putting into their bodies, and it's like I'm not going to get caught. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get caught. And normally the suspension is 4 games. I was surprised there was 6.
Yeah, so that's something we're going to have to see whether or not it was a second offense. Nothing said by the NFL in their statement or by Seahawks public relations in their statement. So we'll have to see whether or not that actually was a second offense that came down. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New York Jets tonight on Monday Night Football. We'll get into that right before the end of the show. But recap on how the weekend went. The Cincinnati Bengals, the 1-5-1 Cincinnati Bengals beat the Tennessee Titans 31-20. Joe Burrow, 26 for 37, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cincinnati has as many wins on the season as the Tennessee Titans have losses. Who's to fault for that game?
The Cincinnati Bengals have as many wins as they won all of last year. A lot has to do is whether it's the coaching, not getting enough plays going on offense. Plenty of blame to go around. End of the day, it kind of looks back on the defense. They just couldn't really make a stop. Burrow was able to throw with ease, and the Bengals were able to run the ball with some pretty consistency too. So I'd blame it a little more on the defense and the play calling. That's where Mike Vrabel has to come in. He's a defensive-minded head coach. The Bill Belichick kind of mentality. But, I don't think Tennessee should really freak out. They're 5-2. I believe they're still in first place in their own division. So everything's good for Tennessee, but, pretty soon you're going to start writing up the division opponents. And the Colts, they're for real.
Yeah, Denver Broncos 31-30 over the LA Chargers in a game that featured 2 teams who are on the wrong side of the tracks right now. New Orleans Saints 26-23 over the Chicago Bears in overtime. Will Lutz hits a 35-yard field goal to win the games. But the story out of it, which you and I were texting about earlier today, Chicago wide receivers Javon Wims punches CJ Gardner-Johnson in the third quarter, gets ejected from the game, and my literal reaction was, what in the world was he thinking?
I saw that. I was like, what's going through your mind? It's the Saints guy, the poor Saints guy, he didn't do anything. Gets punched in the head twice. He still doesn't do anything. Could have easily retaliated. No, his friend is like, no, I'm just going to let him keep punching and let him get suspended. And I keep on playing and help my team win a game. It just complete and utter stupidity out of Wims.
Yeah, Javon Wims ejected from the game. He is to be suspended. We are sure of that by the NFL.
2 games has been suspended.
It's a 2-game suspension. Okay, I had not heard that one yet, so that's why we have you on the show. Javon Wims suspended 2 games. Seattle 37-27 over the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo is out with a high ankle sprain indefinitely, and it just broke down a couple of minutes ago. George Kittle out 8 weeks, broken foot. So the 49ers now are going to have to go without Garoppolo and without Kittle. Seattle seems to be on their way to likely a berth in the NFC Championship game. The 49ers, who played in the Super Bowl last year, seem to be on their way to next year.
This is the 49er season.
Turtle. Yeah.
Crash and burn.
Yeah, that's about the way that it's gone. Quick rundown on the rest of the games that are big to talk about. Tua is 2-0. 28-17 Dolphins over the Los Angeles Rams. The Vikings won 28-22 over the Packers. Indianapolis Colts had the only blowout of the day, 41-21 over the Detroit Lions. Kansas City Chiefs 35-9 over the New York Jets, who have still yet to win a game, and Adam Gase should be fired as the Jets head coach, but I think they want to make sure that they go 0-16 first before they do it. Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles won 23-9 in a game that still made them look like absolutely horrific playing teams because Carson Wentz was not good at all. The scoreline is extremely deceptive. Las Vegas Raiders 16-6 over the Cleveland Browns in a game that everyone thought was going to be a shootout. And the Cleveland Browns proved me right once again. They are a dumpster fire and not 5-3. Thank you very much, Cleveland. Continuing to prove me right. I will flip-flop on that again next week after Baker Mayfield throws 6 touchdowns and wins a game by 30-some points. So I will continue to flip-flop. But for this week, I will call the Cleveland Browns a dumpster fire. The New England Patriots have lost 4 games in a row for the first time since 2002 as they lost 21-24 to the Buffalo Bills. The Patriots are now 2-5. This team, though, I do not think will rattle off 11 wins and finish the season with a decent record, win the AFC East, make the playoffs, and go on to win the Super Bowl. So are the New England Patriots done? And then the bigger question is, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 5-2. After 20 years, was the New England Patriots Bill Belichick or was it Tom Brady?
On the first one. I don't think they're completely dead yet. I still think the Browns. I still think they're frauds. I think the Colts are frauds. The Bengals are the Bengals. The Chargers are frauds. Broncos are frauds. Not 9 of the 16 teams in the AFC, I just think are big fat frauds. They're going to end up missing the playoffs somehow. So if the Patriots can rattle off 8 wins, finish the year at least not 9-7, 10-6, salvage something and get into that final playoff spot, I think that's a success in its own. But yesterday showed some promise. They were to move the ball around offensively, which is good. The defense played a lot better as a unit. So a lot of positives take out of the game, even though one negative, the big costly fumble by Newton. But he's holding it like a loaf of bread, sort of expect. But no, I don't think it's completely done yet for the Patriots. If they lose to the Jets next week on Monday night, then it's over. It's over. Pack up, go home. But
that would be the Jets' first win of the season.
It'd be the Jets' first win of the season. It'd be the Patriots' season in a nutshell. Just done. But over the last 20 years, we saw the consistency of Belichick and Brady. And we see what Tom Brady's doing right now, and he's probably going to go to 6-2 tonight because the Giants are just a complete joke of a team as well. Right now, through the first almost 8 weeks through the year now, it's become more evident that it's more Tom Brady than Bill Belichick. And you can say, yeah, Belichick gave Brady the opportunity back in 2000, kept him on the roster as a 4th-string quarterback. Brady worked his butt off. Got to the backup role, went in there in an emergency situation, never looked back. So yeah, to say Belichick gave Brady the opportunity, but Brady took that opportunity and grabbed it by the horns and rode them. Because if Tom Brady was not effective, Drew Bledsoe would have came back. He probably would have missed the playoffs. He wouldn't have 6 Super Bowls. Belichick would have been fired about 10 years ago. Brady would be out of the league by now. and the Patriots will still be called the Patsies. So, no, a lot. We're as Boston sports fans, we're spoiled. We've been spoiled rotten the last 20 years, and we're just not used to this again. I mean, my parents, they grew up watching this team. They're kind of used to it. For guys like you and I, Matt, we're not used to this. This is our first time going through this.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New York Giants is the Monday Night Football game tonight. You can tune in and catch that game on ESPN. We are out of time for today. Nick, thanks for joining us on the show. And that's the game for November 2nd, 2020. Have a great night, everyone.